What's up, everyone? Thralls Metal here once again. I'm the Croc Nick.
Miller.
Ren. Shredlord.
Jim and John.
And we have an album review for you. And, well, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Happy Cannibal Corpse Day.
Woo! Happy Cannibal Corpse.
It is practically a holiday for death metal heads right now because we're going to go over Cannibal Corpse's new album, Violence Unimagined.
You've never imagined violence.
Oh,
not
well,
like this.
Not like this.
No, not like this. Not yet. Up until Cannibal Corpse told you. Thank you, Cannibal Corpse, once again. So this came out on the 16th of April on Metal Blade Records, which has been their home ever since they started. This is their 15th studio
Christ
full-length.
almighty. 15th.
15th.
Makes you seem
Wow. Formed technically in Buffalo in 1988, but of course they are more associated with the Tampa scene with all those lovely bands like Morbid Angel and Deicide, Obituary. And this is the first time they've had a member change in a long time. This marks the emergence of Eric Rutan as their second guitarist. Now, he's been kind of a part of the band just in terms of being in the studio. He's mixed at least, what? Kill, Torture, Evisceration Plague, Red Before Black.
Yep.
So he's been kind of a part of them, at least in a studio sort of fashion. But now he is...
Cannabis Corpse.
Yeah.
The offshot.
Yeah.
And replacing Pat O'Brien, who went through a thing, a pretty publicized thing. Not really
some
gonna-
hobbies.
Yep. Collected stuff that was explodey. But we wish Pat well doing whatever future endeavors he does.
Best of luck.
But this is kind of like the start of a new era for Cannibal Corpse, to be honest. Like, this really feels like a fresh take on Cannibal Corpse, and it doesn't feel as though it's like removed from Cannibal Corpse. Like, this is instantly recognizable as Cannibal Corpse.
Yes.
Oh, right off the bat.
Like, there's no
filler, there's
Nothing.
no nothing, just...
This doesn't even bother with like intros or like sort of like mood building. It is right to the heart of it. First two tracks, Murderous Rampage and Necrogenic Resurrection. Thrashy barn burners, kind of harking back to like even some earlier stuff like, you know, Tomb of the Mutilated and Eaten Back to Life. Like, it kind of has that old school energy to it. And again, no build-up, no pretense. You open with a turnover and a ridiculously chunky guitar tone.
Full
and
tilt boogie right out of the gate.
it's just disgusting.
To celebrate today, I had hothead burrito, and I
What the hell is that have to do with any of this?
because I ate myself back to life. I had a person.
All right.
That's more appropriate.
My wife's going to have a person soon.
Yes,
Don't-
she is.
don't
Yeah.
Eat that person.
Don't eat that person.
No, I'm not going to eat like
Did you show her the cover of the album? Did you show her?
Look, babe.
She was talking to me about
cute
that last night.
pregnancy
She was
photo.
like, the cover. She was like, I didn't mind the music. The cover of that album, though, I don't know. Like, I don't. There's something wrong with that.
It's a combination meal and late-term abortion.
Yeah.
I mean, she also had some other snacks in there too.
Yeah.
You're probably seeing the edited version of this album cover right now, just because
Yeah.
YouTube might get upset.
I mean, in some cultures, they're known to eat the placenta, so I guess that's
I was just
going
gonna
We were
say,
talking about that
further.
last night too.
Very high in
I
nutrients.
don't-
Yeah,
I think she took an
nutrient
extra big
dense,
bite.
so who knows? The small intestines are probably more nutrient dense.
Maybe it was dark in that room and she didn't exactly see what she took a bite of, and like, oh no, I got two halves.
Damn!
Again.
Damn it! I ate the baby again. Shit.
Those dark ages were.
I know, dark.
Dark.
Right off the bat, old school Cannibal Corpse, just like we were saying, balls to the wall, straightforward. And then it gives you a little taste, that groove there a little bit, but it's not a full-fledged, like, corpse groove, what I would call corpse groove. Just a little bit. But
That
they're doing-
actually comes up like later.
Yeah, like the third track here when we get into that. But I like how they kind of trickle in those little parts, at least that I love about Cannibal Corpse. And let me do a little housekeeping, too. All right, I was really, really excited about that vinyl, and normally I'll prepare a little bit, but I jot down some shit off my brain, and for 5 minutes, and I had listed shit for Eric Rutan because I was trying to think of stuff he worked on, and I wrote that down, and normally we'll list a name and then a band to kind of let you guys know, hey, check them out, they've been in this. Well, Paul is Cannibal Corpse, so
Yep.
I had
The new guy.
Eric Rutan stuff with his name, and I was just blaring through it, man, blaring through it. And I'm watching the premiere with my son, like screaming. I was like, "You fucking moron! He's been on every goddamn record."
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh."
You
My
showed
brother-
it. You showed it to me, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, my brother texted me like, "Dude, you're the one that got me into the band. How'd you miss that? So a shout out to those that corrected my bullshit, and Granville Guitars, because he mentioned that Brian has not been at Mana Studios in a while.
Now, one thing that instantly had actually all of us kind of asking questions, right? How much was Rutan going to contribute to this album? Like, was this album already like relatively complete by the time he jumped on? And he actually contributed 3 songs on here, and they definitely sound a little bit different. Notably, the lead work is different. Now, Barrett's still just Barrett, like he throws in really good squealy leads.
Squealy.
Unbelievable riffs. He writs a good chunk of the songs
dude,
on
the
here.
rhythm section, man, the riffs in this album are
monstrous.
Riff City.
Yeah, it's riff-tastic.
Guitar Player's Wet Dream.
The 2 songs that really stood out to me that Rutan wrote were Condemnation, Contagion, and Ritual Annihilation. Both of these bring in a lot more dynamics in terms of the songwriting. They kind of play a little bit more with like technical play. There's really cool crawling riffs, but it doesn't leave behind any of those token Cannibal Corpse grooves and the giant blasts. Really interesting song work, and this is something that I think kind of freshens this up a little bit. Not that they were bad, it was just kind of like Cannibal Corpse was in cruise control, but they were still going like, 70. But they weren't, going like 50 in the passing lane. That fucking sucks. They were still going at a respectable speed. Now they've kicked it up, and they're definitely breaking speed limit laws.
They're back and they're showing the youngsters how it's done.
Yeah. I mean, right off the bat with the first track, they say that, like, look, this is what we are, this is what we're going to do, and you're going to listen to it.
We're going to break your face.
It's fresh blood in the band, man.
Yeah.
The fresh blood in the band revitalized everybody, and Eric Rutan's leads add a entirely new dimension to Cannibal Corpse. It's a sophistication of lead there that really hasn't been there before, because it's totally different stylistically from what they've had in the past.
Yeah,
So
he's very classical, and I mean, he's a big classical.
You can tell the difference now.
Yeah.
Like,
he's kind of like almost Steve Vai-ish at times, man.
Yeah,
Sweet Sweeperton.
Yes.
It's just enough.
His arpeggiation and his phrasing is very unique and very unlike your typical death metal shit, and that made this album very interesting to me. And even the play back and forth between the lead guitar, both guys were tearing it up, but you could tell who was who, just because one lead sounded like very Cannibal Corpse appropriate, and the other was like, oh, this is new. Where did this come from?
This
And
sounds
it was
a little bit
refreshing.
like Hate Eternal.
A little bit.
Maybe
They play really well together.
for good reason.
Yep.
They play real well together.
Yeah.
And like I gotta say, like one moment that really stood out to me in Condemnation Contagion, there's like this really solid tremolo melody. And honestly, that's not a thing that Corpse really throws out very often. It's generally the big chunky thrashy riffs. This tremolo melody that instantly screamed Rutan, like it's like, wow, it's like very Morbid Angel, Hate Eternal. And it was really cool just to hear him contribute right away. And these songs stand out, but they also stand out amongst a litany of great songs in here. There really isn't a weak track.
And in that song, he almost gives us a blah.
Yeah.
Almost.
It's close. It's a not a blah.
Caveman grunt.
I think it was just his neck increasing.
Yeah, power.
You ever see the dinosaur in Jurassic Park? Flared out.
That's why there was an interview with him recently, and he was telling a story about something, and he made the comment though. He's like, or the guy was trying to get around him or something. He's like, dude, you ain't getting your arms around my neck, bro.
You're not going to get your arms around his shoulders, man. He's a big guy.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
I shook his hand. I felt tiny and insignificant.
There's a spot in Condemnation Contagion of the vocals, and why I love Corpse Grinder is just his vocal, the way he lays everything down and structures it into the riffs and fits everything in. Then he like kind of carries over vocal patterns into the next 4-bar measure, and it just solidifies everything very well. And he's a fucking great vocalist.
His vocal cadences are super fast, like Neurogenic Resurrection. And you can understand 90% of what he says,
Yep.
which is so welcome in death metal because
The Endless Cookie Monster.
the endless cookie monster. And the single Inhumane Harvest, when he says everything must go,
Oh my
it
God.
sounds like he's trying to sell cars.
Do you want this Toyota Corolla? I'll buy it. All right. Cool.
Yes, I
The
do.
down payment, sir.
Another interesting thing, like it goes with the vocals too, in terms of like their rhythm section. Paul's drum work it's it's one of the hallmarks of Cannibal Corpse. Because, you know, he's a new guy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think he was on Ready Spin. Fucking moron.
But because he has like really interesting drum patterns and those off-time fills, it gives Corpse Grinder room to kind of play along with those and have like interesting one-line deliveries.
And plus, he just said in an interview recently that they were some of the most complex drum beats he's ever played. Which I'll say that there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
He's spry for an older
Paul's a busy beaver.
Yeah. He does a great job of letting things breathe, though, and then it's those sporadic moments where he can, you know, fit those things in. This album does overall a really good job of like when you're songwriting in general or producing, you get these back and forth, up and down. You want your music to kind of flow and sway because that's the catch, the hook, the groove.
Yeah.
They do a really good job of this, and on these riffs, so they'll start something low and have these riff patterns low, and they'll pick these notes out, cherry pick, so it's up and down, and they do a fantastic job with that. And anyone who's into production, like the side-to-side motion and stuff, like ear candy, what they call, you know, Timberland, his beats do a lot of that, side-to-side, very basic beats, but the way the sound shift and move, either up or down in key or in dynamic. And Cannibal Corpse, their riffing is doing it with notes, up and down, back and forth, and keeping you kind of guessing and having that flow and sway to it, which is why everything hooks and gets you in.
Honestly, like, I haven't heard a Cannibal Corpse album like this hook laden. Like,
Dude, they're everywhere.
Yeah. Like, honestly, I was thinking of like back to The Bleeding. Like, The Bleeding has like so many super distinct songs on it that, you know, like, wow, I really haven't heard this sort of play. And I don't know, honestly, I think it comes down to Rutan, because he and Barrett like really sat down and just like worked on these guitar parts, because the interplay is great on here.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite songs is probably Follow the Blood. That riff.
It's gross.
And what I'm talking about, that ear candy. It's back and forth. And back, snap back, forth. It's so hooky, man. It's so catchy.
Bossy.
Yeah, dude. I'm listening to this stuff. It's fucking grooves, man.
I love those.
The opener
giant,
riff and Follow the Blood, dude. Oh my god.
The descending bends.
Slide riffs.
Yeah,
I call them slide riffs. Those bends, you know, Dimebag would do them. Gojira does it. And then they have Slowly Sawn? What I call a cascading riff. It's those notes, melody, and then chugging.
Cannibal Corpse loves that.
Oh man,
those crawler riffs that they have.
The crawl riffs, the cascading riffs. That's what I refer to them, but they're fucking stellar in this album.
And they tuned to floppy. On the song Bound and Burned, there's 8 leads. Nice. The song is not that long. A lot of leads, though.
It needed all 8.
Yeah.
It needed all 8.
It could have used 9.
They're not long leads. They're just...
But they're tasty.
But
they're little, like, noodly.
Yeah.
Little noodly things after
Like
the
15-second little clips.
You say noodles, I say they're appetizers.
Aperitif.
Ooh,
damn, getting fancy.
Wow.
It's the sampler platter. You got all the appetizers on one plate, and you can share it with your friends if you want, or you can just hoard the whole fucking thing if you want. It's your plate.
Eat it in front of you. Buy it anyway. Eat it in front of your friends.
Like, don't look at it. It's mine.
Another song that Ritual Annihilation, in terms of what I like about Cannibal Corpse, is their ability to create that really uneasy, off feeling. Like some of this stuff, because for me, Cannibal Corpse is I get very picturesque in my mind with them.
It might be the album covers.
You know, Surround, Kill, Devour. I just picture Corpse Grinder and a steamroller, like concrete roller, just V12, just cranking, just just running through things and
Target.
I just
Target.
Yeah,
with a steamroller in Target.
You got a discount on it. They were selling it.
Now the album is not perfect.
No, I mean, seldom is an album perfect. Like my gripes with this are minimal. Though.
Yes.
Very
yes.
Honestly, the main gripe though is the production. I'm really hit or miss with Eric Rutan. Sometimes he does a great job. I think he's done an amazing job on both Torture and Kill.
Yep.
And those stand out as just really stupid heavy Corpse albums, and they're mixed pretty well. This one feels a little thin, namely in the low end. And
I was surprised because normally Rutan's also known for muddy mixes. Muddy low-end mixes. Yeah. I mean...
This is kind of washed of the bass, and the bass drum, it doesn't have like a good punch to it. It's just kind of like a thud. You want it to thump, not thud. And the snare, I kind of have an issue with the sound of it. I don't know. It sounds like a snare's full of pennies, or, you know, it's like someone slamming a screen door over and over again. It doesn't have like
I didn't think it was
good,
that bad.
It doesn't have a good pop to it.
It's filled with human teeth.
That would actually be
very
damn cool.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, and I kind of agree with some of the production stuff. I think that on the snare, there's like maybe the compression release is a little high, because then you get that whoopy kind of sucky air sound, especially when you're hitting 16
That is true.
notes.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah, so you get that kind of sucky noise at the end of a note because that's the release coming up too fast or whatever. And you're trying. You want to do that in your? Does that make you all good?
It's all about the release.
It's all about the release of the sucky air. I think it's the compression a little bit. And Paul plays so aggressively on his drums, you really don't need...
No.
Like, I don't know that I would use a bunch of compression. You know, a little bit, maybe copy out the kick and run compression just on that and pepper it in.
You could have the mics at the other end of the fucking studio and pick up.
Yeah, you can pick him up.
Like, if anyone's ever seen Cannibal Corpse live, watch Paul play. He looks like he's going to have a stroke.
He might.
Agreed. Dude, when we saw him the last time they were in Toledo, dude, I thought he was going to die. Like, he just looked like he was like...
But that's how he looked playing drums ever since he was in the band.
And production too, the bass. You mentioned the bass. I would have liked to seen that up a little bit more. And there's some sort of like, there's like a like in the bass, just not all the time. And I hear it. It's like in the 800K range. Like, that could have probably used a scoop there to cut that out.
It's in that song where he's got the little bass solo.
Oh,
yeah, that little like
all the blood.
Jazz fusion.
Yeah, he's got this little thing. But before he goes into that lead is what you're talking about.
Yeah,
it's got, like,
because he's got an effect on his bass.
Well, no, it's happened in some other songs too. It's when it's like real mid high. It's like the 500 to 800 range. Like it's just this like it's very similar to when you're looking at or trying to weed it out, like guitarists when they pick fast, they get that that like high pitched. It's like a scrape,
string
almost.
noise.
Yeah, and you want to cut that out, but you know, I think just a dip around 700 probably would have fixed it.
I didn't have too much of a bitch about the production of this album, honestly. The only gripes I really had is I could have used a little bit more of Alex Webster in the mix, and I also could have used the lead seemed buried at times.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
That rhythm tone is
again,
heavy.
On the vinyl.
Though, it's different. Like, once again, we all listen to this on different speakers. I listened to it on like 5 different sets of speakers. The vinyl was good, and the headphones were good. Slowly Son.
Yes.
That song is
Groove City.
Slowly
The
so.
opening riff hurts.
Oh.
Yep.
And they lead it in so well. They just kind of let that thing build there and it's like, this is what you're going to get, but wait, there's more.
But this is the one I think also sounds the most like Cannibal Corpse. Like, that was something I wrote too. It sounds like this band. Yeah. Like,
yeah, this is that one with that opening, that cascading riff.
But it was quick and to the point.
it's a little 3.5-minute kick in the testicles.
Yeah.
I would say none of these songs waste any time getting to the point.
no.
Like,
Nope.
There's, again, no pretense. I mean, this is Cannibal Corpse.
No filler, even the intro riff.
They almost end abruptly, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Violent.
we're done. Okay.
Well, over Torture, which corrected to Overture several times when I tried to type it out. That one does end abruptly. That was an interesting song, though. That was an Eric Rutan song, and surprisingly, it was like a super fast, thrashy one. Like, I would have had that pegged for, like, you know, Webster or Barrett on that one, but it's cool actually hearing a variety of different things from him. But yeah, overall, this is a banger. Honestly, I like this one a bit more than the last one, and I mean,
And I really like the one.
this makes a ranking that much more difficult.
Yeah, dude, I'm not looking forward to ranking this band.
That's going to be the suck, but we'll do it.
We'll do
Yeah.
it.
We're
Yep,
professionals, damn it.
It's gonna be rough.
Yep.
So overall, I'm gonna give this 4.5 stars. This is Cannibal Corpse. I love Cannibal Corpse, and I don't want to say there's like a newfound energy because they're always energetic. It's Cannibal Corpse, but there's something fresh about this album, and it's probably Eric Rutan. The riff work is so damn good. It's just, I don't know, it has hooks again. And not to sound like it's knocking on Pat O'Brien's style, but there's something like less cluttered about this where all the riffs get a chance to really shine. Everyone is firing on all cylinders on this, and this just flat out whoops ass. This is everything I wanted from a new Cannibal Corpse album, and I can't wait to listen to it for like a 10th fucking time since I got it. So yeah, killer.
I rated it a 4.5 as well. It's that new blood you were talking about. Like they, again,
follow the blood.
Especially losing someone like Pat O'Brien. Like you're like, all right, well, what are we gonna do?
Sucks.
I think bringing in Eric Rutan, I think that was the best thing they could have gone with. I don't think that anybody else could have properly done the task, especially due to the fact that he's produced a lot of their work. Like, he knows the band, so why not throw in his 2 cents? And like you can definitely tell the songs he plays on. You can hear his style and what he brings.
He is a disgustingly good guitar player.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And if you like riffs,
he's got them too.
This album is not without
tons.
Killer riff work, and the breakdowns in some of these songs are just bleh. Dude, there's gonna be fucking blood and teeth everywhere. So
I know you're all surprised out there, but I'm gonna go 4.5. I thought this album sounded pretty decent. A couple gripes about it, but not that big of a deal to me. There absolutely is a new energy to this album, and I do believe it is the new edition of guitarist Eric. So he is disgusting. He plays some virtuosic type, shit in death metal. If you've ever listened to Hate Eternal, he does incredibly gross guitar work there, and he just brings something absolutely new to this fold. His own little wrinkle, if you will.
It's a new level.
A new level, but not like Pantera's new level. It's like Cannibal Corpse's new level.
I'm going to give it a 4.5 as well. This is everything I want with death metal. Understandable lyrics, tempo changes. It's not just... solos, galore, riffs, abundant. I love it. Naked zombie lady eating a baby.
Delicious.
Pretty cool. I don't know.
It's neat. Mm-hmm. The vinyl one especially, because it's bigger.
Yeah, nice and big. That book is awesome.
Yep. Yeah, it is. Yep.
Big old eating baby.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 4.5. I was gonna go 5, but we have the ranking coming up. I gotta leave myself some room, and there was a few of the production things, but it was very minimal. This whole album is just very minimal gripes, and this is something I've listened to at least a dozen times.
Yeah, dude, I've probably listened to it probably 10 times.
Maybe more than that, because I got 10 hours every day. That's all I do is listen to music. So I've had this thing on repeat all week, pretty much. I listened to a little Napalm Death here and there, or Hate Eternal. Went back to some old Corpse albums, because there's a lot of this stuff that reminded me of like little nods to old school stuff. There's a lot of nods to like Kill, The Bleeding,
The Wretched Spawn, I thought too.
Yeah. I wrote down one of these that was Wretched Spawn, or even going back to Morbid Angel, because that Condemnation Contagion, very Morbid Angel feel to that.
Yep.
And it just took me back to those bands, and that's what good music should do. It should make you want to listen to it, but also make you want to go back.
So, if you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe, because we do stuff like this all the time. And we are also on Patreon, so if you would like to check out the link below in the description and go on there, sign up and help us out there. We will have exclusive content on there. We also eventually want to do like giveaways through this, and eventually get some t-shirts out, all the fun stuff. So yeah, we're definitely trying to grow this thing, and we're having a lot of fun doing it. So with that, I thank all of you, and happy Cannibal Corpse Day, and we'll catch you later.